Are you ready for one more for section 3? Hey everyone, Cristin here, and we are continuing with section 3 of our Enchanted Winter Quilt with our sponsor, Daylily Fabric Shop. So we have 1 and 2 all sewn together and complete, and almost we're going to have section 3 done soon too. Not quite yet, but soon. And I'm loving all the personalizations, you guys. These are just beautiful. Everything it's going so well. So we also, for section 3, we have a ton. We have the pine tree block and the floral heart. We'll just go through these very quickly. And the bird, snowbird, and the ice skates. So pretty. I love these with all the vinyl on there. So fun. And then that soft pine tree block. That was the vinyl. That was pretty cool. And then the tundra rose. And yesterday we did the winter home. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, I think that's just so pretty. And I'm so glad I decided to make the quilting stand out a little bit. That is just gorgeous. I love that. And then we also have the piece corner block that we did earlier. So tons of blocks. How many is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9, 10. Yep, 8 done. And so we have one more, and it is really our last official block. We still have 3 filler blocks, and we'll talk about those soon. But today we just have really one last official block, and that is the polar bear. So today we're going to work on the polar friend. And I have to tell you, I'm wearing my polar bear shirt just for you today. So grab your packet if you made packets. We're going to do the polar friend. It's on page 35 of our book. All right, let me just grab all of these things out of here. It's our last official block. I mean, we still have the filler blocks, but pretty cool anyway. All right, so it is on page 35, our polar friend, and we're going to start with our background fabric that is just humongous, like humongous, huge. It is the teal with blue starburst, snowflake, something. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. I call them starbursts. At least that's what I did in past projects. So we're going to start with this at 8.5 by 12.5. You can see it's a huge piece of fabric, 8.5 by 12.5. And make sure to back this with fusible stabilizer. Super important, especially on the main fabric and also when it's so big, for sure. 8.5 by 12.5 for our main fabric, stabilized. All right, and then we have our applique pieces. So I think there's like 4 applique pieces. So it shouldn't be too bad. It'll be some cutting for sure, but not super detailed like the trees have been. So on this, we're going to start with our polar bear fabric. It is a white on white with dots on it. That one's easy to see. That's nice. All right, so this one we're going to have 5.5 by 8. You do want to back this with fusible stabilizer. In fact, it says in the book to stabilize all fabrics except the hat. This has been a running joke, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So this white is going to be on this teal fabric. So make sure to stabilize it so your polar bear doesn't end up blue. We don't want a blue polar bear. We want him happy and white. He'll be pretty. All right, so that one, 5.5 by 8, that's for the body of the polar bear. And then we have the hat. So this is the one we're not going to stabilize it. All right, no stabilize. This one is going to be the navy blue with arrows on it. And we're going to have this be 3 by 2. So it is going 3 by 2 means the wider part is going horizontally, but our lines, notice they are going vertically. All right, vertically. And we're not stabilizing it. I'm pretty sure, like I said in the very first video, I don't remember which one we did that didn't have stabilized on the hat. The only thing I can think of is it's because the decorative stitching. But so we thought maybe it was because there was a pom-pom on, and this one does have a pom-pom too. So maybe it's that. I don't know. I don't know. So I will say though, if it's because of the decorative stitches, and some people were saying that maybe because the white would show through, but if you're trimming closely, which you need to do when there's a decorative stitch, I find it easier to trim when it's stabilized, because otherwise you get all those little pieces all over and it's littler. It's more stabilized and more thick, to me it's easier to cut when it's stabilized. So, but I followed the directions. I'm a good rule follower. I did the right thing. So this one, again, 3x2, it's for the hat, and don't forget it is directional, all right, not stabilized for the hat according to the Kimberbell directions. All right, and then the next one, let's see, this is for the hat brim. So just the brim of the hat. This one is a teal silky solid, no design on it. We do stabilize all other fabrics, it says, except for the hat. So this one, we're going to have it be 2.5 by 1.5. It's just for the brim of the hat. So 2.5 by 1.5. It is stabilized. All right. And then we have, that's the hat brim. Did I say that? And then we have the scarf. So this is so pretty. In your embellishment kit, there is this lined knit. It's a knit fabric. And it didn't say not to stabilize it, so I did stabilize it. It was no problem at all. So this one, we are going to have it be, let's see, 4.5 by 4.5. 4.5 by 4.5 for the knit fabric. It is in your embellishment kit. I did stabilize mine. I don't remember if it says in here. I'll look through the directions and see if it's directional, because there are lines on it. So I'm going to see which way they suggest laying it down, and I'll make sure to point that out when we get there. All right, so again, 4.5 by 4.5. Now, I forgot to grab mine, but we want wash away topping on this. So we're going to cover this, I assume, with that knit scarf, because it's the same size. We want a piece of wash away topping that is 4.5 by 4.5. All right, and I didn't grab it and bring it over here, but you saw it before. It's the one with the blue tealish label on it. So 4.5 by 4.5 for the piece of wash away topping. And I'll tell you when we get there where we're going to put it and all of that. But I'm sure it's to keep this from the needle pulling through it, or it's sinking down. That's probably it. So it doesn't sink down in the stitching when we're doing it looks like a satin stitch around that scarf. All right, so that's the only fabric. So there's the main fabric, and then 4 applique pieces. So pretty easy day, just one block today. We can do this. And then we need our batting. So our batting, a big piece of batting, it's going to be 7 by 11 today. Batting is 7 by 11. All right, so that means we have a big quilting design. Our quilting design today is going to be Winter 7. So those snowflakes, very pretty all around that polar bear. That will be really pretty. So, and they suggest using aquamarine. I think I'll probably use a lighter color so it might stand out a little bit better on that dark teal fabric, but totally optional. I always tell you when I'm going to change it up, I do tell you this is what the book suggests and this is what I'm going to go with, so that you can do that on yours as well. Your quilt your way, right? All right, so on the quilting, Winter 7, that's the snowflakes in a 6 by 10 design. So that means if your biggest hoop is a 6 by 10, this quilting design will be 6.5 by 10.5. So I'm going to use my 7 by 12 hoop, but you can take out those steps like we've talked about all along. You can take out steps 3 and 4, and it would make it, it should fit in the quilt. If not, you can shrink it down just a tiny bit, just the quilting, not the polar bear, just the quilting. All right, so 6 by 10 design, Winter 7, and it is not directional. And then the bigger hoop, we don't stabilize the hat. The fabric for the knit scarf is in the embellishment kit. We will use that wash away topping on it. And we do iron fusible backing to the wrong side of all fabrics except for the hat. All right. And then let's see, special cut instructions. We do use that wash away topping. So there is also a stitched pom-pom. If you don't have the embellishment kit and you're not going to use the pom-pom, you can stitch that. I'm going to bypass that and I'll tell you about it when we get there, just to remind you so that you have that option. And then the special trim instructions are just using 2 different pop rollers to get the cut that we want. So we're going to cut it to 6.5 by 8.5. All right. And the pom-pom will be added later. I know some people are adding their embellishments on now. That's up to you. I'm not going to, but up to you. So polar bear, that's the only one today. It should be a pretty easy day. And then, oh my gosh, we have one more video before our blocks are all done. That is so exciting. I can't believe how great we're doing. It's been amazing. It's been a lot of work. My husband is really missing me. I'll tell you, I've been in my craft room like day and night working so hard. So it's really fun to see it coming together. And after we finish our polar bear, then we'll have our filler blocks, and then we're going to sew it together, and we're going to have all of the blocks sewn together, sections 1, 2, and 3. That will be so fun. So we're really getting close. Pretty amazing. Two more things real quick. So I'm not going to bring you over to the computer. I'm just going to do it on my machine. I like to give options. So I'm going to show you how to load the quilting design and the embroidery design using just my machine on this one. You can absolutely do it using your Brilliance Essentials or other software. It's so easy. You can absolutely do it. No problems. And you won't need to do a color sort or anything for this. So that's one thing. I'm going to jump right to the machine. And then the other thing I want to point out, I went and got my topping. So there's the wash away topping, which has the light aqua label. And then there's the wash away stabilizer that has the darker bluish teal label. This one is the one we want. This one is to go on top of a design to keep extra stabilizer. Basically, it's on the top, and so that the stitches won't sink down into knits or fleece or anything like that. All right, so that's the one we're going to use. This is the one, just so you know the difference. This one is this wash away stabilizer, and this is the one that we used on the mitten string or any freestanding lace items. This is what you would use, and you use it in your hoop, whereas this one goes on top of the fabric. All right, so this is the one we're going to use. Don't forget 4.5 by 4.5 piece today, and we'll go over that when we get there too, but you want to have this ready for you. All right, let's get started. my shirt today, this one is my polar bear. Of course, I had to wear a polar bear today. I was going to wear a different polar bear one, and I don't seem to have it anymore. I think I got rid of it eventually. So this one is so cute. I'm almost certain it's by Jazzy Zebra Designs, and Jazzy Zebra Designs is no longer in business. They used to have a website and an Etsy shop, and it doesn't look like either one are running anymore. I will add the information under this video just to be sure. The shirt is from Amazon. It's years old, like several years old. I made this probably 5 years ago, I'm guessing. But it's a really good one. It's by Anvil, I believe. Anvil, Canvas, Anvil, something like that. But I will add information under this video with the link of where you can get the shirt. I have them in like all the colors. I really like this shirt a lot. I have a bunch of them. It's a shirt, so it's thinner, but it's got a hoodie. It's pretty darn cute. And a great color, of course, for a polar bear. So cute. And of course, bling on my polar bear. So like I said, I will add information under this video of where I got the design. I don't think it's still available, but if it is, I will definitely add a link for sure. And then for my Amazon storefront, always check my Amazon storefront for shirts and sweaters. And yesterday, that denim jacket, did you get one? Oh my gosh, I love my new denim jacket. So check out my Amazon storefront so that you can purchase any of the items that I suggest that I have used to be able to embroider on. And how are you doing with your goal? So I have not done my goal yet today as far as the exercise portion of my goal, but I'm going to tonight. I did last night. I finished with just over 5 miles, so I was pretty happy with that considering I worked all day and I was pretty done. Like my husband was all set in front of the TV just relaxing. I'm like, oh, that looks really appealing. But I didn't. I got on my treadmill. I did 2 full workouts, big ones. They were like 40 and I think 46 minutes and 33 minutes or something like that. So both of them. I did not do a strength workout because I was a little sore from doing one the day before. So it's good to give your body a little bit of rest time in between strength training. My stomach's growling. I'm hungry. So anyway, I have not worked out yet today, but that's what I did last night. And I will make it work again today to get a workout after I'm done working on our project and our videos. And I forgot to mention about the less hand holding. So it's a lot, but without the group, I would never be able to do this. Without the admin team in the group, there's no way. One person, I can't do all the things. So it's a lot. I get a lot of messages and a lot of things that are already in the video that makes me a little bit crazy. But I understand, everybody's on different paths with their development and learning how to use their computer and their embroidery machine and all the things. But I have to just keep in mind that I am not all things to all people. I can't do it all. So I'm really relying on the group, and the group has been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, literally every time a question pops up, when I can't focus on it right at that point, people answer before I even get a chance to. So hugely helpful group. This group is amazing. A lot of people say that the group on Facebook, the Cristin Creates group on Facebook, is their favorite group because everybody's just so kind. We've had a couple of trolls over the years, but the admin team is on it and they like, you're out. So, I mean, the group is fantastic. And the admin team and the group the people in the group, just phenomenal, absolutely wonderful people. So thankful. And you make it possible for me to get to stay on task with my goals.